Before the preseason started, I released a 53-man roster prediction video, and honestly, I wasn't gonna make another one, but I started, playing around with the players and making like another one, and I actually do see some significant changes to my 53-man roster prediction now than what I had before the preseason started. So here's another 53-man roster prediction. This my second and final one. This is what I think the team is gonna look like come, I want to say Saturday, because Saturday by 3 p.m. I believe the roster has to be trimmed down from 90 to 53. Anyways, with that being said, let's get right into this. I'll try to get through these as fast as possible because it's 53 people. So yeah. Anyways, let's go. At quarterback, Deshaun Watson. It's obvious Deshaun is the franchise quarterback. It's obvious he's obviously going to make the team. At quarterback 2, the backup, I got Brandon Weeden. I think Brandon Weeden is clearly a better quarterback than Joe Webb. Joe Webb, it was tough, man. It was tough. It was really tough. But I just couldn't keep him on the roster. I like what Joe Webb brings to the table. He can somewhat throw a football. Because let's be honest, Joe Webb is a terrible thrower of the football. He just can't throw it. But he has mobility that if, God forbid, Deshaun Watson gets hurt, and if the O-line doesn't improve all that much, we could throw in Joe Webb and, he can make things happen with his legs. But unfortunately, I just couldn't take Joe Webb over other players. Now we move on to running back. Starting running back, Lamar Miller, I think it's pretty obvious. Okay, so this was a pretty tough decision too. I have the Texans keeping D'Onta Foreman on the roster to start the season. They could put him on the PUP list, and then they could bring him back. I want to say it's after week 6, and I think they could also go that route, but I think D'Onta Foreman might be ready beforehand. Maybe not to play in the game, but to practice. And if you're on the PUP list, you can't practice till week 6. So I think the Texans will keep, a dead roster spot for D'Onta Foreman. And then we got Alfred Blue. I definitely think Alfred Blue makes a team. He does so much. He is pretty much a third string / fourth string running back. He's a special teamer. I know a lot of people don't like him, but the coaching staff likes him. They like what he does. He does a little bit of everything, so he's definitely making the team. And the last running back, I have Tremaine Pope making the team over Tyler Ervin. Now, Tyler Ervin, I was low-key a fan of his when we picked him, but unfortunately, his rookie year, Tyler Ervin was terrible. His second year, he got hurt and was out for the season. So, I think Tremaine Pope is pretty much what they needed Tyler Ervin to be. And I think Tremaine Pope is an excellent returner. It feels like every time Tremaine Pope returns the ball, he gets a good gain. So I think Tremaine Pope beats out Tyler Ervin. I don't know what this means for Tyler Ervin. Maybe they just cut him. Maybe he makes a practice squad. I'm not too sure. At fullback, in my other 53-man roster prediction, I had Prosh making the team. This time around, I don't. I just seriously cannot find any logical reason to keep Jay Prosh. He's a decent fullback, but we only used him last season on 10% of the snaps. We used Prosh like in 40% of the special team snaps. So we don't need Jay Prosh on this team. I think we can throw in a tight end. Back there, we really do need a fullback and a certain player or something. I just don't think we have a roster spot available for Jay Prosh anymore. Okay, at tight end, I have Ryan Griffin, obvious reasons, he's just starting tight end. And then we have Jordan Akins and Jordan Thomas. Now Akins is obviously making the team. He's a 3rd round pick. He looked really good in the first preseason game, really disappeared the 2nd and 3rd one. And then we have Jordan Thomas. The Texans really like Jordan Thomas as the blocking tight end. He's big. In college he wasn't really known as a guy who can block, but the Texans have really been trying to develop him in that aspect of his game. So Jordan Thomas definitely makes the team. Now Steven Anderson, I think it's pretty evident Steven Anderson's on the way out. Will he be cut? I don't know. I think we can trade Steven Anderson because he does have some trade value. And why do I say that? Okay, look back. I want to say to 2015. The Texans had a tight end, Kari Lee. The guy showed absolutely nothing. Like, nothing at all. Nothing about him stood out. But the Texans were able to trade him for a 6th round pick. Steven Anderson has at least shown flashes before. So I think if the Texans really wanted to, I think they could realistically trade for a 6th round pick again, maybe, for Steven Anderson. He's definitely on the way out, but we might be able to get something from him instead of just cutting him. At wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, obvious reasons. Will Fuller, obvious reasons. Bruce Ellington, obvious reasons. Kiki Coty, obvious reasons. And Braxton Miller and Sammy Coates. Yes, I do think they both make the roster. Compared to last year, I feel like we have a lot of depth at wide receiver. Last year, we only had D-Hop, Will Fuller, Bruce Ellington, and Braxton Miller wasn't really all there. But I feel like Braxton Miller is a little better this year, and I feel like Sammy Coates and Coty are both better receivers than Braxton Miller. But the Texans really like Braxton Miller. They make him do a lot of everything. He plays inside, he plays outside. So I think Braxton Miller is probably, I guess, the backup outside receiver instead of Sammy Coates. So I think they both make the team. I think we carry 6 wide receivers. I mean, we've done it before, so I could see it happening again. Now for the offensive tackle spot. You got Julian Davenport. He's obviously going to make the team. He's just starting left tackle. Shantrell Henderson, also obviously going to make your team. He's just starting right tackle. Then you got Martinez Rankin. He's a 3rd round pick. He's definitely going to make the team. Yes, he didn't look good against the Rams, but to be fair, that was his very first game, and he's been hurt. He's missed all of training camp, so he was obviously going to look not good. And unfortunately, I do think Kendall Lamb will make the team. I'm pretty sure the Texans are going to carry 4 tackles, and I think Kendall Lamb unfortunately is that 4th tackle. At guard, I have Zach Fulton for obvious reasons, Senio Calameti for obvious reasons, and David Quesenberry. Yes, I think Quesenberry is indeed a lock to make the team. Quesenberry has played left guard and right guard for the Texans, and he's looked good doing so. So he definitely makes the team. At center, I have Nick Martin, obvious reason, he's starting center, and Greg Max. Greg Max is, I'd say, an average center. He's a pretty good pass blocker, but not good of a run blocker, so he could start another team. I could possibly see the Texans, say, trading Greg Max to a center needy team like the Bills or the Cowboys. But I think the Texans really like him, so I think they'll keep him. And Kyle Fuller, I don't see him making the team. Kyle Fuller just really hasn't shown me anything last year or this year, but he is in his 2nd year. So I'm not sure the Texans are going to IR him. They could, but I'm not sure. Most likely he might make the practice squad, but I don't think Kyle Fuller really makes the team, and I don't see the Texans carrying more offensive linemen than they already are right now, which is 9. I don't see them carrying 10, honestly. And on the D-line, we got Watt for obvious reasons, Christian Covington for obvious reasons, and DJ Reader for obvious reasons. The backup defensive linemen, I have Carlos Watkins, Joel Heath, Angelo Blackson, and Brandon Dunn. Man, like, I was honestly debating cutting one of Joel Heath or Angelo Blackson. I think they both have trade value, but the Texans have serious depth at the defensive line, and I just couldn't cut one of these guys, man. I just couldn't bring myself to cutting one. One of the final two roster spots literally came between Joel Heath and Angelo Blackson and Joe Webb. I ended up keeping the defensive linemen because I just think they're too good, man. I really love the depth on the D-line. I love it. Outside linebacker, Davion Clowney, Whitney Merciless for obvious reasons, Duke Ejiofor, obvious reasons, and Brennan Scarlett. I think Brennan Scarlett is he's a solid player. He's not a great pass rusher. He contains the run for the most part. I think his biggest issue is health. He has been unhealthy in the past. I think he missed time both his rookie year and his second year, and he's going into his third year. Hopefully, he can do something, but I don't think he'll see the field much anymore due to the fact that Duke Ejiofor has arrived. And then Peter Colombayi. I don't think Peter Colombayi is going to get cut. He's a 6th round pick, I believe he was. I don't think he gets cut. Instead, the Texans are going to play him in week 4 versus the Cowboys. And then Peter Colombayi is going to get hurt, if you know what I mean. He's not really going to be hurt, but they're going to say he got hurt, and the Texans are going to put him on IR. I think that's the destination for Peter Colombayi this offseason. I think the Texans like him, but he's shown absolutely nothing in preseason. I've heard absolutely nothing about him coming from practice, so I think he's going to IR. They won't give up on him that soon. They won't. At inside linebacker, we got Bernardrick McKinney, Zach Cunningham, Dylan Cole, for obvious reasons. And then we also have Josh Keys or Josh Keys, however you want to say it. I think he's looked pretty good in preseason. The Texans usually carry 5 inside linebackers, so I see Keys being one of them. The 5th inside linebacker is Brian Peters. The Texans like him. He's a special teamer, so they'll definitely keep him. At corner, Jonathan Joseph, Kevin Johnson, Aaron Colvin, Kayvon Webster, Johnson Badamosi. Those are the 5 corners I have making the team. Usually the Texans carry more, but this year I have them carrying less because of the safeties they have. And Jermaine Kelly hasn't shown me anything. I'm not even sure if he's healthy, so I could see Jermaine Kelly being IR stashed, but Jermaine Kelly won't be the only corner that will be IR stashed. Andre Shashir, number 37, he's looked pretty good. I was debating putting him on the team, but I think other players make the team over him, and I think he also gets IR stashed along with Jermaine Kelly. So we're going to put 2 corners on the IR stash because after this season, Jonathan Joseph is going to be 35. We're not sure what we have with Kevin Johnson. Kayvon Webster's on a 1-year deal. So we're definitely going to need all the corners to compete next season in the offseason to see who the better options are. At safety, Tyrann Mathieu, Kareem Jackson, Justin Reed for obvious reasons. Curtis Drummond I also think makes the team. He's looked good in coverage, and he's a pretty good special teamer too, so I think he makes the team. And the 5th and final safety, I have it being Tristan Decoud. I think Decoud beats out Corey Moore. I'm not a fan of Corey Moore, if I'm being honest, ever since that drop pick versus the Patriots. I think there's absolutely nothing Corey Moore can do to, make up for it. But I could see the Texans keeping Corey Moore over Tristan Decoud, but I have them keeping Decoud just for the sole fact that he was a draft pick and he has 3 years left on his contract. At kicker, I have Kaimi Fairbairn, obvious reasons. Long snapper, John Weeks. At punter, I got Trevor Daniel beating out Shane Lechler. Look, man, in my opinion, Shane Lechler is a for sure Hall of Famer, one of the, or if not the best punter in NFL history. And I think his time has come, man. Trevor Daniel, he has a way stronger leg, and he's shown the ability to be able to pin the opponents deep in their territory. So I think Trevor Daniel beats out Shane Lechler, and Shane Lechler retires. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Comment down below your opinion on my 53-man roster prediction. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.